Dear sister, I don't know if I have the strength.
Someone need help! Who are you? What do you want? Somebody help!
Are you all right, miss?
I don't know. Who were those people? They wanted to kill me. Why?
They've lost their minds in the epidemic. They won't come back for now.
You seem to know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm investigating this disease.
I am Xiao Shun. Thank you.
It's locked.
Shouldn't you go back home?
Maybe later. But for now, I need to...
Since I can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony. My mother would die if she were to see me in this state. I must wait.
I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father, the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Why kill my Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place?
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic, madam.
Oh, Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
Oh, Mary. What have I done? If I could only change one thing. One thing. This is a nightmare.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do but accept it.
What brings you here?
I thought you could use the company. I am so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
She was a good person. Vibrant, full of life. She was kindness incarnate, my Mary.
You're a good person, Jonathan. And a young Ekon. A newborn cast into the night without so much as a candle to guide your way.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with this. You must learn to live with what happened.
I'm learning. Every night is a new lesson. What I am, what I must do to survive. But my sister, she shouldn't have suffered because of my weakness.
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary's forgiveness, if you must.
You may be right.
Of course. I've stared upon this world for centuries, and time has taught me to deal with guilt, if not erase it.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there and make your peace. Find the solace you need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion. Shed your skin, forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon?
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
These immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel.
That was my master.
Best be moving on. Away with you!
This man stunned me with his crucifix. This is not good news.
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be...
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage. Yet I see...
Very well, priest.
Open your heart, my son.
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of...
She was murdered.
I see.
She died because of me. How do you think I feel?
I have a final question for you, my son.
Ask your question.
What words would you like to say to your poor sister?
Shit, do I ask her to forgive me or do I tell her I'll find the responsible? You know what? Cliche. Please forgive me.
I killed you. There's no excuse. My dear Mary, forgive me.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
There. I confessed to that vicar. Do I feel better? Only time will tell.
Easy does it, boys. We can
Precious when binding you to the earth. You. I remember you. Fear be gone.
I would harm no child of my making.
This is your doing. You made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
You selected me, chose me.
As shall my children yet to come.
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones.
Very well.
Jonathan, please. I can't rely on anyone else.
In what way?
Jonathan, I may turn my head when you or her ladyship indulge, but I will not allow this place to become a nest for street feeders. Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now guard of
Rest assured, I will protect you and your staff.
McCallum is a fanatic. The guard will...
Very well, since
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan. What can you...
That Miss...
And did you seal them?
No. I was working by the
Did you...
I...
Where is Miss...
I don't know. I'd imagine...
Goodbye, Nurse. Good. Oh, no. Goodbye.
What?
Nothing like this would have happened if we'd had enough stuff.
So you don't think...
We all hold fast here, Doc.
Thank you for your...
Good evening, Milk.
Good evening, Doctor.
Tell me why you're extorting money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little.
Where did you get the idea?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed.
Admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more than your lover. She's also your partner in crime.
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free? I need to know that.
Have you known?
Don't you see the city is crumbling down? What? Someone killed Miss Jones in her room.
You don't seem shocked by...
Why should I be?
Goodbye, Milk.
Perhaps I should have considered the offer from that Cadogan fellow.
This one's mine!
Leech spotted! Watch out! Ready, go! This is not a place for you, sir.
This is no place for you, sir.
Burn it, boys! See them fancy clothes? This one's a top!
Are you all right, sir? What are you doing in a place like this?
I'm not sure that's any of your business.
I hope you realize that staying here will put your life at great risk.
Pah! I'm not afraid of these guards of Priwen, or whatever these thugs call themselves. I can still kick some respect into those youngsters.
I wasn't specifically referring to them, but...
They took my boy!
I see. But as I said, your life...
Well, this part of town used to be...
There is a name engraved under the blood on the back of the case. Jack. Gillingham. Maybe I should return this watch to his family. Are you sure you'll be able to reach the...
Young man,
This is Braille. I need someone who can read this. Good evening, sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you...
Dr. Jonathan Reed, that's...
Ah, some fancy...
So you won't?
The name is Booth Dick.
Do you know...
The Sad Saint. Why on earth...
He was one of my patients.
Oh, yeah. I heard the poor bastard had been abducted by some cunt. You...
Goodbye. Good evening.
Who are you?
As I...
The Pembroke...
I'm not...
Miss Ed...
I'm looking...
The Sad Saint?
Yes, he was. But he left...
You don't say. Well, I suppose...
Can I...
As long as you have money, I'll shut...
Mark my words, miss. These murders are the work of a...
Not a drop of blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire.
I'm a tracker of these creatures. A vampire hunter.
You best be off to your hunting then. For if the sewer dog is back, and hunting all these poor folk, he needs a catching.
A sewer dog? What's it look like?
It's an old story. A monster with daggers for teeth and icy claws. He comes of a sudden, nighttime, claiming innocence, then vanishes.
Teeth, claws, murders by night. Your sewer dog.
Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, sir.
You remember me then? Thank you for your hospitality.
I'm still Tom Watts. Welcome back, Doctor.
Tom, I need to find Sean Hampton.
I heard the Sad Saint was recovering at...
The important thing is...
Why not try his night asylum? He takes care of those who need a meal or a...
Where is it?
It's in an old warehouse, northwest of...
Goodbye, Miss...
I should have offered a drink.
Good evening, sir. What? Don't you recognize?
Don't take it personally.
Yes.
I'm Dyson.
Inebriation...
Yes.
Take this, then. And perhaps you could try...
Hey, Doc, you don't really want me to stop the only remedy I can afford.
I'm looking for...
I really don't know.
Who could?
About this.
Goodbye.
Times like these, a good drink's just as likely to...
Evening, miss.
Well, I never. That's a first. Customers who make that much mess rarely come back. Never mind in fancy togs.
I'm much more myself than when we first met. By the way, I'm Jonathan.
Welcome back to the Turquoise Turtle then, Doc.
Miss Cavendish,
You better ask Tom, sir.
Why not answer?
We respect the privacy of our customers here, sir.
Goodbye.
acid or something.
Shut the turquoise for a time.
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter? Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'd like to hear more about...
A man of science!
I'm looking for...
The sad saint? He should be at his night asylum.
Really?
It's nothing personal.
I could make you tell me, but I respect your refusal. You really believe...
All I will say is this. Gossip has it that when he would...
Maybe...
Tell you...
Have you...
Of course.
Were you ever tempted to join them?
I did think about it, but I'm more...
So you...
Vampires are just like every...
What can you...
Did you hear...
It's...
But it's my...
So...
I patrol...
What can you tell...
Did you...
It's...
But it's my...
So...
I patrol... It's... Of course...
Can I help in...
Actually, yes. I plan...
Are you asking me to paste...
If you wouldn't mind.
Goodbye.
Weapons ready! We found one! Oh, Christ!
I cannot enter. It's locked, all right. Seems like the guard of Priwen is on Shorthampton's trail too.
Send you to hell! Take a breath of this! Die! It's all you deserve! Die, Bernie! You leech! Stupid beast! Crush the beast, boys! Killing's all you deserve! Die, vermin! Bloody monster! Die, beast! Burn it, boys! Bloody crime! Die, beast! fucking beast! God walks with me!
Why the long face, Doctor?
How dare you welcome me as if everything is the same? We both know things have changed a lot, don't we?
I'm still me in here, just more alive, as a Skal. It's a new beginning, Doctor.
Since you left Pembroke, the amount of blood that has been shed, it's hard to believe you, Sean.
Ask what you will. As the Lord is my shepherd, I will not speak a lie to you.
Why return here?
This is my home. These people are my flock. You will always find me where I am needed.
Wonders?
And what of...
And what about William Bishop?
Alas, poor William. He had a good soul.
Aren't you afraid?
We are blessed, Doctor. Can't you see it?
But you must drink...
No, not your scripture. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood.
Do you think this is a blessing when God's own house and holy symbol...
If that is your burden, Doctor, so be it.
Why did you kill Miss Jones at the Pembroke Hospital?
Killed old Harriet? You must be mad, Doc.
So you claim Miss Jones' death?
Though Harriet was an angry, spiteful woman.
But you were...
Of course. But she...
People have been murdered. I've seen the blood. I don't believe you can be trusted.
Have a little faith, Doc.
How do you plan to...
Take this key of the old sewers. The entrance is by the riverbank.
Very well. You have definite...
I'll be here when you return.
Shit! Lost it! Every hole without Die, vermin! Fancy clothes? This one's a top! The beast! No rest for the wicked! He's done for!
I cannot enter. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. So that's it. These wheels control the water level. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. gate should shut properly.
It's locked, all right.
These maggots have escaped the wrath of Ascalon for too long. It is time to purge the sewers of their filth.
You again. The one they call the sewer dog.
Hold your tongue, newborn, or I'll crush you like a maggot.
You've let the beast consume you.
Finally! A touch of lucidity. You'll learn to respect the laws of Ascalon! Power you cannot comprehend! Neck shall snap like a hare's brittle bones, newborn! Banshee, the hand that crushes all! Skulls was singing your name! Slow as a snail! Pissing wells! Return to your apothecary and needles. Down, stay down. I shall crush you. Your blood is now mine. Down, stay down. Your blood is now mine.
I cannot enter. At least one Skal escaped Fergal's wrath. How could he have made it this far? There's blood everywhere.
Safe we are, still. Drink now.
Bless you, Bridget.
This isn't the blood of a vampire, but it will quench your thirst. This is our domain, not yours. You've been warned.
Wait, I saved you from this creature. That must count for something.
Thank you. Now go. Go back to the streets and houses. There is no love lost between us, vampire. But thank you.
Sean Hampton sent me here. I believe he wanted me to find you. Who are you?
If you must know, they call me Old Bridget. And this shelter is where we...
I'm a newborn, Ekon. I'm afraid I'm not sure what's going on.
I shall not bend a knee, young Ekon, but I sense your pain. Ask, and I will afford you my attention.
Why was that?
Fergal is the blunt instrument of the Ascalon Club. His masters would see us dead or...
What the hell?
They are known as Volkod, an ancient offshoot of immortals. Blood drives them, enrages them.
What of this Ascalon Club?
Vampire Society's elite in the Empire. They make the rules and enforce their judgment upon us whom they see as lessers.
So was it you that Sean Hampton sent me to find?
Perhaps. The sad saint was always kind to us. He must trust you if he revealed our location.
The Guard of Priwen is hunting him. He is suspected of murder.
The Scars have always been hunted by humans and vampires alike. I teach them how to survive against the odds.
Sean killed a patient of mine. And that's just one of the murders he's being hunted for.
If you refer to Harriet, she is now among us and under our protection.
Harriet Jones is alive. That's it. That's the proof Sean wanted me to find. I must talk to her.
No. Harriet is not alive. But you can speak to her. I must warn you.
I don't understand.
She is filled with bile and hate. Her mind is sharp as a tack, but her body is so weak. I've never...
Thank you.
Oh, Bridget allowed me to wander above some years back. It was unpleasant. Oh, Bridget allowed me to wander above some years back. It was unpleasant.
Hello, Harriet. Do you recognize me?
Yes, you were from the Pembroke Hospital. The young doctor. So full of secrets.
I have so many questions I need to ask.
I love questions. As for...
How do you feel?
I can't see.
Have you tried to eat or drink something?
People here tried to...
Does the pain ever stop?
It is not pain I feel. It's like I can't stop feeling every inch of my body. But at the same time, each muscle and bone is the wrong place.
Why did you come here?
And why not? This is where I live now. leave me be.
Will you respect old Bridget's wishes? Will you obey her?
Bridget is kind. She only needs to keep me fed and I'll be good.
So you desire to stay here?
Yes, I'm with my own kind. Birds of a feather, so to speak. Poor Harriet. Always alone.
Your room. The blood. What brought you to fake your death in such a gruesome fashion?
To see if I would be mourned.
Why flee with Sean Hampton?
Oh, it's always a pleasure to see a saint fall to sin. But the coward still won't kill.
Do you take pleasure in causing so much pain and sorrow?
Nobody gave a damn about me. Not a tear shed. Poor Harriet. Always the discarded.
I have a question of the utmost importance to ask. Will you answer?
Questions, questions, questions. The good doctor, always searching for answers.
Do you remember what you did after leaving the hospital? Did you kill anyone?
First, a question from me. You answer first.
Very well then. What do you want to know?
Are you like me? Are you also dead?
We are not dead, Harriet. Death no longer pertains to us. We are different.
I like what I am. I truly do. I relish the pain that courses through me.
I know you fled the hospital with Sean Hampton. Did you or Sean kill anyone in your flight? Anyone? Try and remember.
I will not lie. I wanted blood, and I wanted revenge, and Sean pulled me from it, brought me here instead. But the shadows heard my prayers. The shadows killed that bastard.
You sought vengeance by your own...
I don't lie. I saw him near the docks, and rightly I wished him.
Who was that man?
He used to be my landlord. I lived...
Shadows?
The shadows. They heard me and answered.
And these shadows, this presence, do you still...
It spoke only to me. And now, it...
What makes you say that?
It whispered your name, Dr. Reed. It wanted to know who you were and where you went.
Questions about me?
Nothing, Doctor. I said nothing. There was nothing it didn't already know. Oh, I'm tired now.
Have you found the answers you were looking for?
There is too much left.
Get to know us. Spend time with us.
For how long?
Skulls have...
Where did you...
We claim... True.
You... Can...
We... Live... From the...
What?
We are...
What manner of creature is Harriet? She is different from everyone else.
I really don't know. I'm not even certain she's a skull. I've no idea as to what blood made her.
What is a skull, in fact, in your honest opinion?
The progeny of a vampire, disavowed by her maker. Perhaps a fruitless branch of a noble tree. A word used to enslave us. I cannot say.
You mentioned that vampire blood has tremendous potency. You believe it to be stronger than your own?
The vampire's sweet blood. That rich, dark wine that we crave. For it made us, and it can sustain us.
I thank you for your time, madam.
Your kindness has been ample payment, Ekon. To protect us, I'll close the access to our hideout, but you can use our shortcut to reach Mr. Hampton's shelter.
Thank you, old... It's locked, all right. I cannot enter.
Welcome back, Dr. Reed. Would you like to take communion with me now?
Sean, are you eating raw flesh?
It is the sacred flesh of the mortal lamb. Our Lord's bountiful transmutation for the sustenance of his believers. Thank you, Lord. I am your most humble servant.
So, true to your word, you waited for my return.
I told you, Dr. Reed, I was a man to be trusted. Did you have words with the poor Harriet?
You're harboring monsters under the beds of your clients. That takes some nerve.
We are God's children, Dr. Reed. One and all. And he's determined to save us.
What will be the result if you continue to...
For the last decade, that's what's been happening. And they found a better life. What's to change?
You're forgetting the epidemic. Things can go south very quickly. I've seen it.
Oh, these are terrible times. Only those pure...
You've turned Skal now. Don't you see the danger to anyone giving you their trust?
We are all sinners, awaiting salvation. This is a simple truth, ordained by the Lord Almighty. I am a seeker of his glorious light.
Does this place belong to you?
How could... This warehouse was once property of the Dawson family, but has been bequeathed me through donation.
The Dawsons? The wealthiest family in London? Have they a clue as to what goes on here?
Not at all. The donation was made before the war. The building was run down. I never met Aloysius Dawson myself.
So you have the run of the place and no one's taken notice?
As long as we keep to ourselves, we interest no one. This is a haven, and I pray it remains so for eons to come.
Harriet, Miss Jones has been behaving in a most violent manner. She's going to need special attention.
That's precisely the reason I brought her here. To meet old...
Who is this old Bridget?
I don't know, Doctor. She rarely speaks...
Harriet is possessed by her hatred. You cannot let her roam free. She's dangerous.
She has joined her own kind, Doctor. Old Bridget is a saint to the younger Skalls, guiding them to salvation and peaceful existence.
I believe I've learned all I need to know. I'm certain you've killed no one, but one day I believe you'll cross the line.
Logic is a false prophet. Faith is the only path to salvation.
What do you mean?
We have been blessed with God's eternity. We are the instruments of His divine will. We shall feed the hungry forever and ever. Amen.
I haven't the luxury of being able to satisfy my hunger on staunch blood and lifeless flesh.
Give yourself over to God, Doctor. Expel your urges and kneel before the Lord in praise.
These urges... You know the hunger will never be satisfied.
I've come to embrace the everlasting craving. I have sworn to feed only upon the flesh of the dead. It is now my sacrament. Take, eat. This is my body. So saith the Lord.
I believe you, Sean. In fact, I envy the peace you found, and will remember it.
There is love and compassion in your heart. You only need to give it wings.
Thank you for your kind words, Sean. Continue your noble efforts. You are a good man in bad times.
Keep to the light, my friend. Like all my flock, you have a home here. Anytime you're in the neighborhood.
Another corpse thrown in the streets. Someone's playing a very sick game. I know this brooch. This is my mother's. A birthday gift from father. "29 Pretty Orchard Street." That's near Poplar's district. Why would this man carry off my mother's brooch? Good evening.
Doctor...
Did you see...
Actually, yes.
What?
Who?
You've never faced, let alone killed, a vampire, Ichabod. You're a fraud.
No, I'm not. I may embellish the truth.
You mix your beliefs with myths. In the end, you're no better than the other lunatics howling at the moon.
Well, that's not true, sir. I've already...
Oh, really? And you're still alive?
Well, we...
What do you mean? Tell me about the vampire you spared.
It was... She was a girl. Her body was a mess. I could see pus running from the deep wound. She was crying in pain.
You cared about her. That's what defines us as human, Ichabod.
Yes, but she was a truly evil creature. I'm haunted by the tragedies she caused ever since I spared her.
Do you need my medical attention?
I appreciate your...
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throckmorton.
Steady, boys! We've got one of them!
We don't need no wars to worry us. People are dying here right on the streets.
beasts!
29 Pretty Orchard Street. This is it. What's in there for me? There's been a fight here. This window was shattered with violent force. Someone's been pulled through it and dragged through the street. Who could have done that? So much blood. Whoever was killed got dried out.
Why drag the poor wench across all these streets to let her expire and be found here?
You're surprising. Occasionally, you make a good point.
How's that?
We're being misled. Or worse, we're being baited by leeches playing a nasty game.
Stop!
It's locked.
Why drag the poor wench across all these streets to let her expire and be found here?
You're surprising. Occasionally, you make a good point.
This is the very flower my mother tossed on Mary's coffin. Someone is targeting my family. Her shoes and clothes are quite worn out. Only a golden watch in her pockets. Right then. It's a sick game. But given no choice in the matter, I might as well win it.
Jonathan!
What was that? I won't let you escape. You're very fast, but I'll catch you. They've all been butchered. I feel someone's eyes upon my neck.
You! What have you done?
Vicar Larrabee, what happened?
Demon! Hell Scourge! Son of perdition!
Vicar! Jonathan's no demon. He's just a soul. Returned from the dead. Like your Christ, Vicar.
Mary, is it really you?
Oh, it's me, all right. Precious brother.
What is Mother doing here?
I'm gathering the family for a final reunion. All smiling, all dead. Thanks to the good Dr. Reed.
Mary.
Mother, say hello to your son.
Hello, Jonathan.
Mother,
What do we have here, Mother? The prodigal son has lost his tongue. Our Jonathan always had the first and last word at dinner. The entertainer, the star of our show.
I'm sorry. Let me explain.
Shut up. It's my turn to do the talking. I have this nasty hole in my chest, Johnny. It needs to breathe.
Of course. You can speak.
My prayers went so long without an answer. My husband, killed in France. My child, carried away by the flu. My brother promising to return in his letters, then disappearing in thin air. I went from hospital to hospital. Cemetery to cemetery. Grave to grave. I've lifted every stone in London, searching for an end to the nightmare. And there you were. In front of me. On a dark pier.
The hunger had taken me.
The joy to have finally found you. I longed for your arms, a final happy ending to so much tragedy, to tell me all would be well again, as you did when we were children. It was this filthy dock where you greeted your sister. I dug a tunnel from my grave with my fingers and teeth.
Mary. I thought I had murdered you. I tried to end myself. We've been through the same horror.
We are a disease, Jonathan. A sickness that corrupts all it touches. All we kiss, and all we kill. Look at me. Admire your ilk.
I'm so sorry.
Apologies will not suffice. I demand reparation. I want a miracle. Are you a miracle worker, Dr. Reed? No? I'll show you mine then. The family Reed, reunited and complete, living forever in a red sea of eternal love. Time to go, Mother. Say hello to my son for me.
Mary, wait. I have made friends with vital knowledge. Vampires. We are not alone, Mary. With time, we can learn to live almost as we lived before.
How long?
What?
How long will this masquerade continue? I've been watching you. All these nights in Whitechapel, pretending you're still a doctor. You believe you're just fighting a disease. But it's you, the disease. Jonathan, you!
I'm a scientist. I'll find a solution. Let our mother go, please.
You're always the one to sway me to reason, Jonathan. But before, your motivations were always pure. Now you're tainted.
Let her go! She has no part to play in this.
Very well. Have you heard our good doctor? You can go home, Mother. Go home and rest in peace.
Yes, I'll go home and rest.
It's so easy to make them obey or forget. Puppets for our pleasure. I've seen you have your fun.
You are mad.
Oh, so that's what I am, Doctor. Mad. I was beginning to wonder. I've been hearing these voices in my head. One in particular, that of my dead brother. This is the reason I must kill you. Not for your betrayal. Not for our poisonous kiss. Not even for the lies you tell yourself. No. It's so that smooth and wicked voice will stop ringing in my ear.
Mary. No, don't!
Time to die, brother. And this time for good. Slayer! Rest in peace, monster. You left me to rot in this grave. Assassin! What have you done? You killed me, brother! Kiss me? Abomination! Yes, Jonathan, kill him. Revel in your true nature. I'll do to you what you did to Dorothy Crane. Kinslayer! Come to me, Jonathan. You've killed me, brother! Kiss me again, sweet brother. You left me to rot in this grave! What have you done? Because you spared Sean Hampton, don't expect the same mercy. Come to me, Jonathan. Rest in peace, monster. Kiss me again. Well, brother, it's time to bring this conversation to an end. Forever.
You know I will not play this game.
Calm now, Doctor. Like a rabid dog. Or think you're performing an autopsy?
Don't be ridiculous.
I'll kill them all. The kind Dr. Swansea. The sweet little lass with hair of red. I am the Harbinger, bringing your punishment.
Mary.
Don't you see? This is not me. Flesh that never ages. All nightmare, no dream. Bring it to a close. Let me sleep.
I will find a cure, Mary. I swear it.
Then, at last, I can forgive you.
Blood. As I shed one last red tear for my fallen sister, I realize the entire world now revolves around this singular word. The epidemic that has stricken London is not the Spanish flu. It is transmitted through the blood, via violent biting, turning survivors into frenzied immortals. I am Dr. Jonathan Reed. I am a vampire.
Born anew into an age of death and pestilence, while plotting factions close in around me, I am sworn to find the source of this epidemic. I am convinced greater perils are still to come. I know the answers I seek are hiding in our blood. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Do you need medical help yourself, Nurse?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reed.
Not under my watch, Nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Milton cheats patients out of their money at this hospital, Pippa. Are you his accomplice?
Yes, I am.
Is this your definition of being useful? By abusing the sick and poor?
No. It is my definition of getting out of this useless life once and for all.
Whose idea was it?
What difference does it make? We did it together, and I'm guilty as charged.
Answer my question.
It was my idea first, even though Milton would say it was his, to protect me.
Why do you do it?
Why not? Most of the sick who paid for a bed are already dead, or will be soon. Don't you see the futility of all this?
How can you be affected by the misery around you, and be so heartless at the same time? Which is the real you, Nurse Hawkins?
I could ask you the same question, Dr. Reed. Are you more real when you lie to a dying patient, or when you grant him useless medication?
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm capable of dealing with this myself. I've just not taken the time to do so.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so.
I wish this hospital could have received...
Thank you for your time. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying.
Do you need any medical...
I'm afraid I do. Like everyone in this hospital.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of infections, Milton. There's no shame in being ill while you're in a hospital.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor.
Goodbye, Milton.
It's safer here than anywhere else in the East End.
You don't mind if I search your pockets, do you, sir? You won't need any of these anyway. I'm not stealing from you, mister. I'm only redistributing your belongings to people who need them more than you. You see, no one has claimed your body, sir, so it would be such a shame to bury you with your valuables. I will not forget you, sir. And I thank you for your generous donation. Good evening, Dr. Reed.
How dare you steal from the dead, Rakesh? Is that what your pawnbrokers is really about?
These people are dead, sir. What they possessed could be useful for the living. And I'm sure they would agree if they could speak.
You should show respect for the dead. What about their loved ones who may treasure these items you sell?
The bodies I watch over are the unwanted and undesired, sir. I would never deprive anyone of their family artifacts.
Do you need medical...
Well, the proximity of the dead is not the most...
I will... Goodbye. Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
Not really.
As long as you remain here.
Don't think you can do much about it.
Goodbye for now.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir.
Feel disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
There again.
How can I be sure I'll not find your unconscious body in the house again?
I promise you, you'll not find my unconscious body.
For God's sake, how can you say such a thing?
How can you refuse to listen? I tried to warn you for so long.
No, I won't let my only son die. You promised me you'll stay alive.
Your son lied to you, like the whole world lies to us.
Your agenda, sir. How long's it going to
Good evening, Mr. Gott.
I'm okay.
Admit it, Mortimer. Your mother had you hospitalized here because you tried to kill yourself.
Yes, it's true.
All right, then. This is the first time we've really shared information about your case. Shall we call this progress?
Call it what you want, Dr. Reed.
You can trust me. I won't report you to the authorities. My one and only concern is your health.
I guess I should thank you, then.
Can I help you in any way, Mr. Goswick?
I wrote a letter for my mother. She was supposed...
I see. And is this...
Yes. And I don't want anyone...
I have to...
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with...
Look at it! Vicious bugger! Want some of this? Ooh, that's not smart!
In this letter, Mortimer Goswick does nothing to hide his desire to die. I could give it to his mother, but doing so would betray his trust. Good evening, Mr.
I'm okay.
I have retrieved your letter, Mr. Goswick. I can assure you that nobody read it but me.
Thank you. This is for you, then.
I think you should talk to your mother.
Thank you.
I've read your letter, Mortimer. You wrote about an unbearable feeling of despair, while the world crumbled.
There's nothing more to say, really.
Despair is a deadly poison I've tasted myself, sir. We're only tempted to drink it because we're terrified by the uncertainty of the next minute.
I know that perfectly, Doctor. For I waited for so long, hoping that the next minute would be less unbearable.
How painful.
So painful, I'd rather.
I have to go now.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening,
Mortimer is extremely vague as to his motivations.
As you say, Mortimer had no reason.
Why? What do you think he meant by...
Mortimer has always been a sensitive...
Your son wished to die, Beatrice. Why did you...
Are you not aware suicide is a crime? Mortimer could be thrown in jail.
I understand you fear the legal consequences, Mrs. God.
All my son needs is help and comprehension.
I have read your...
He threatened to kill himself a few times before.
Punish you?
I've known for a long time he was not happy with his life. But I always hoped he kept...
Do you realize your son could try to kill himself again?
I think about it every minute.
Your determination is laudable, but you are in a state...
How dare you talk to a mother like that? Talk to me like that?
I'm only trying to be honest, Mrs. Goswick. As painful as this fatal end may be for you, you have to accept this is a possibility.
No. I'll never accept it.
I'm all right.
Goodbye, Mrs.
Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening.
I'm okay.
I'm
all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick. Is there any...
Really? Why has no one else asked me that since I got here?
Unfortunately, you are not the only...
Well, perhaps...
Goodbye.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you require medical...
Do you know you're the only one who's asked me that...
Despite what you think about this place, I can tell you with absolute certainty, taking this will help you recover.
Well, at least your reputation seems...
Goodbye, Mrs. Good. Do you need medical... Well, the proc... Don't take too many risks.
And that is a good thing. Death and disease is...
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trick... It never ceases to amaze me how you, the dead, seem peaceful and lost.
Jonathan, old chap.
I was conducting research in my room.
Of course, of course. Worry not, I understand.
What news?
The news is not good, my friend. It is killing the infected patients faster.
Tell me more about...
Geoffrey McCallum seems to have sent his war dogs on a hunt.
Have they come closer?
No. They mainly focus on fallen districts or abandoned buildings. But they're growing in numbers. They must be
Have you any reliable friends in the...
Unfortunately, you will be alone. Except for our ravishing red-headed acquaintance, of course.
What of...
Nothing to fear, Jonathan.
What about the...
There are only a few of us.
I have received an alarming letter from Lady...
Then you are twice fortunate. I have never been...
What?
My dear Jonathan, you...
Is the quarantine, sir?
It is helping slow the propagation of the epidemic.
Thank you, Edgar.
Good evening.
I need blood.
Do you require my...
My condition.
Well?
Thank you, Doctor.
I'll leave. Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you.
Do you need my...
Would have been...
There is no shame in helping each other.
Many doctors I have known are too cynical to...
Good.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you realize...
I think...
You're
How dare...
I'm only
No.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening, Mr.
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir.
You are not a burden.
And you have my grat.
I have to go.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Come now, we can handle this.
If only I were young again. Just a dozen years or so.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you require medical assistance, Nurse?
I will be fine. As soon as I can get some sleep.
Nurse, you won't be able to help people if you're sick. Take this, and do try to get some rest.
I'll try, Dr. Reed. Thank you.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like...
Wise choice, Doctor.